there was just the Xbox Games Showcase, and oh my god, there's so much to unpack. There's so much that I loved about the showcase. And two, as you can maybe tell, I don't know, some of you will, some of you won't, we have a new lens on our camera, and it is glorious, man. It is so freaking nice. We should be looking ultra HD in this video, and this is the norm moving forward. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for allowing me to reinvest back into my equipment, and always looking for more upgrades. And a couple months back we got this microphone, which is incredible. Now we're upgrading the videos, the visuals, so much love to you guys. But that's not the point of the video. The point of this video is to discuss the Xbox Games Showcase. Before we get into it though, leave a like on the video if you enjoy the sounds and are coming out of your headphones, that are coming out of your speakers, whatever you like to listen to or with. Drop this video a like, subscribe if you're new, before you sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Now, I want to hear from you guys first before I go into anything. I want you guys to drop me a comment and let me know what your favorite game from the Xbox Game Showcase, for those of you that watched it. For those of you that didn't, I'm going to give you my top speaking points. I've made a list in a document. I kind of kept notes as the showcase went on. It's currently almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it just ended, so all of this is fresh on my mind. Unfortunately, it kicked off with Fable, and I completely missed the very beginning. I knew that they were going to kick off with something strong, and I was like 2 minutes late, so I missed the Fable rework or the showcase. I went back and watched it. It looks pretty good. It's kind of a reboot of the series. I think they're rebooting Fable, and I'm all for it. Listen, I loved Fable. Fable 1, Fable 2, and Fable 3 were all great games. I'm worried that the game is going to get away from its core gameplay mechanics. The idea of, having a melee weapon, having a ranged weapon, having, a currency. You get a bunch of gold, you can buy a house in a city, then you can raise a family in that city, or you can buy a place of business. You can rent your buildings. You can buy buildings and rent them to other people. You can rent buildings and run your business. There's so much. Honestly, Fable was super far ahead of its time. It was more of a, I felt like Fable was almost more of a simulator game than it was like a RPG game at times. So I hope those gameplay mechanics still are in Fable if they pull it off. They got a hit on their hands. They got an absolute hit. I'd love to see the gameplay. I'd love to see the gameplay. The graphics look great. Fable is I feel like a household name when it comes to Xbox, households. But anyways, that's my main worry about that game. I'm hesitantly optimistic. Hesitantly optimistic. That's the wrong phrase. That's not a phrase. You guys get what I'm saying. Alright, next up we have Star Wars Outlaws, and I have no idea how they pulled this off. This was a completely new Star Wars game that I was completely blindsided by. I don't know if there's been sneak peeks. I believe it was a world premiere, but listen, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've been playing Jedi Survivor in my free time, kind of, and it's a great game. Do I think that a game where you're not a Jedi, a game just like Jedi Survivor, but you're not a Jedi, instead you're like a rebel with a blaster, do I think that game will be as interesting, as fun, So you have a lightsaber, you have a dual-sided lightsaber, you have the heavy, the heavy stance. Do I think a Rebel version of that game would be as good? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know, though. I don't know. I'm optimistic. It looks fun. I think all of the games that I'm about to talk about, outside of maybe like one or two, are all on the Game Pass. If I remember correctly, Star Wars Outlaws maybe isn't on the Game Pass, and if it is, I'll play it. If it's not, I won't. And that's true for a lot of these games, guys. I tweeted about it as soon as the conference was over. You guys can follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Collect and Play. But there is no better investment in video games right now than the Xbox Game Pass. All of these games, or if not all of them, but most of them are going to be playable day one on Game Pass. It's not that they're going to be released and then they're going to come, 6 months down the road. Oh, they'll be put on Game Pass. They will be day one on Game Pass. That is huge. That is a huge selling point for me. That is, in my opinion, why Xbox is so much better than PlayStation, in my opinion. And I'm not going to get into all the console wars, but that's, for me, that's just like my proof or my argument behind the console wars most of the time. But next we had a Payday 3, and it looked, I've never been really a big fan of Payday. I tried to download like Payday 2, I think, because it was on the Game Pass. I played it like once or twice, and then I just kind of uninstalled it, but Payday 3 looked pretty fun. I feel like Payday is one of those games, it's like, if you're a fan, you're a fan, and if you're not, you're not. There's a lot of people that really love Payday, and I feel like I'll give Payday 3 a try, because, what do you know, it's going to be on Game Pass day one. It looked like it was almost like futuristic, like it looked a lot more fast-paced. In my mind, I've always thought Payday is like a strategic bank robbery game or like heist game. This looked much faster paced. I could be wrong, but from the outside looking in, that's just the assumptions that I had about it. Next up, we have a game. Oh man, this is probably number 3 on my list, maybe number 4 on my list of like games I'm excited for from the conference, and that was Avowed. Now, it's by a studio, Obsidian Studios, who I think they claimed they were the RPG masters. If you think you remember Obsidian Studios, you probably do. They were the ones that did Fallout New Vegas. So Bethesda, I think, outsourced that to Obsidian, and so they were the ones that did New Vegas, and New Vegas is like widely, like a lot of people say that that's the best Fallout in the series. I would maybe agree. It's definitely a great one. I loved Fallout 4, which a lot of people didn't like. Truthfully, all of the Fallouts are great. I don't really have a favorite. I don't prefer one over the other. Usually when I don't prefer one over the other, I prefer the most recent because it's usually the best looking one. So Fallout 4 looks the best, and therefore it's my favorite. But Obsidian did a really good job with Fallout New Vegas, and it looks to me like Avowed is going to be their version of like a Skyrim or an Elder Scrolls game, so I'm stoked for that. Listen, any new fantasy RPG that comes out has got my attention. I've been waiting on Elder Scrolls 6 for literally a decade at this point, and it's just still not coming, and that's really disappointing. We'll get into that here in a minute, but of how it looked like a nice little substitution, if you will, and it's going to be available day one on Game Pass, which I'm stoked. I mean that's again, it's so much value in the Game Pass nowadays. You'd be a fool not to get it. But next up, we have a Flight Simulator 2024, and I've never been one for flight simulation, but actually that's not true. I had the original Flight Simulator on PC, and I had like the remote control, like like the throttle up, and then you had it was basically like thumbsticks to control the flight, and it was like, they weren't real planes, they were like RC planes, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. But Flight Simulator 2024 looked really good. The graphics looked incredible. And a big selling point that they had was all the different professions you can think of in flight. Like airline pilot, VIP, there was like mountain rescue, like helicopter pilots, so like medivac, emergency pilots, like stuff like that. They had like VIP client pilot, like a private flight. What else did they have? They had like hot air balloons. They had cargo transportation, industrial cargo transport. They had so many different professions. It was like 20 different professions, I want to say, built in to Flight Simulator 2024. It looked like it was something like kind of aimed towards people that want to get into aviation, whether that's a traditional pilot or any of the other things that I mentioned. It looks like something that they would want to get into and just kind of like have fun with. It looked fun. I haven't played a flight simulator in a long time, but it looked really, really nice. Next up on the list, I have two of them kind of grouped together. It's Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online DLCs. I'm tired of it. I don't play either of these games, and I feel like it's been a major focus for Bethesda for like the last 6, 7, 8 years, however long it's been since these games came out. I was in college when I think both of them came out. I've been graduating from college for a long time, but I understand, with Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, these are MMORPGs. You have to continue to provide content for it, but it's just like, at what cost? At what cost does it bring? I feel like if they weren't working on Fallout 76 DLCs and Elder Scrolls Online DLCs all the time, maybe we would have a Fallout 5, on the horizon, or maybe we would have an Elder Scrolls 6 on the horizon. I don't know how they distribute their employees like that. I'd imagine it's one portion of the studio that works on everything on Fallout 76 DLC, and then another, is like specialized in Elder Scrolls Online DLCs, and I'm just tired of it. I wish they would just move on and give us what we've been waiting for so long. And I'm hoping now that Starfield, which we will get into here in a minute, I hope now that that's coming out. Obviously they'll have DLCs for that too, but hopefully we can start getting some real progress on Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6. Really, Elder Scrolls 6 should be next, and then eventually a Fallout 5. I cannot wait, but I'm gonna have to wait, unfortunately. But yeah, Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, I'm just ready to move on from those. I wish I had been playing them this entire time. If I would have known that this would have been, it would be 6 years of these games, maybe I would have played them all along instead of just like sitting on my hands and just watching these updates come out one at a time. But it is what it is. I'm patient, but I'm running out of patience. Luckily, we're playing Starfield later this year, which I'm going to get into here in a couple more minutes. But next on the list, we had Forza Motorsport. I love racing games. I really have. I've loved racing games in the past. It's been a long time since I've been really intrigued by a racing game. Forza Horizon did a decent job, but just didn't get me completely there. Forza Motorsport, it looks interesting. Obviously, it's more garnered towards like the realistic, like racing style, like F1 style racing, or not F1 style, but like maybe F1 style. I don't know. But will I play it? Yes. Would I buy it for $70? Absolutely not. It's going to be available day one on Game Pass, so yes, I will download it the same way that I downloaded Forza Horizon 5. I'll definitely be playing it a little bit here and there. It's, racing games are always visually stunning, by the way. Just punch the mic. They're always visually incredible. So there's always that. But as far as, no life in the game and 100%ing the game, probably not. Next on the list, we have Cyberpunk. There's a new Cyberpunk DLC coming, and actually they had Keanu Reeves there to announce that Idris Elba is being added to the game as a new character in the DLC, which is really cool. I love seeing celebrities in video games. Absolutely love that. As far as the two of them together, I feel like that's a pretty cool dynamic. I've never played Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was one of those games that faced some heavy backlash when it first was released, and then they kind of like patched it a couple months in, and supposedly it's a really good game now. So maybe we try Cyberpunk for the first time when this DLC comes out. Maybe they'd release like some digital deluxe bundle for, at a discount. So might be on the lookout to pick up Cyberpunk. And then next, and it was very late in the showcase, we got a look at Cities Skylines 2. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. It looked like it had new features. It looked like it had a huge graphic upgrade. Complete overhaul in graphics. The UI looked familiar but new at the same time. That blue UI, the blue overlays and everything. It looked very familiar but new at the same time, which is something that I always get scared about. With going from like 1 to 2 in a series. Perfect example, in my opinion. I feel like it's completely random, but like Halo Wars 1 to Halo Wars 2, I feel like Halo Wars 1 was way better than Halo Wars 2 in the sense that it was like it got way overly complicated in Halo Wars 2. City Skylines 1 is very simple. There's a lot to it, but it's very simple. And I was scared that City Skylines 2 was going to get super overly complicated, and it does not look like that at all. It looks incredible. It looks like there's the mods that people came out with in City Skylines 1. It looks like it's built in to City Skylines 2. It looks way more user-friendly. They had like a gridlock, like they would, you're able to build roads in like a gridlock formation, but not like, one at a time where you have to do like, one section. It like builds it all at the same time. It looked really, really cool, like almost like a template, but you could stretch it, make it any size that you wanted. It looked, I cannot wait for that game. I have a Smart Collect and Play 2, which I've kind of let slow down in the past couple months, but City Skylines is definitely something that I'm very interested in. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play that game. And it's going to be available day one on Game Pass. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then they announced a 1TB Series S, a black Series S. 1TB. It looked like it was just a storage upgrade. It's for $350, which 1TB of storage by itself is like pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure at least like $60 to $100, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong now. It's been a while since I've shopped for like a hard drive like that. But that, I mean, seriously, if you haven't upgraded to like the next gen consoles, a 1TB Series S for $350 looks pretty promising. And then we saved the best for last, guys. We saved the best for last. Starfield. Those of you that know me, you know that I've said anytime and time and time and time again, if I had to play one video game studio for the rest of my life, it would be Bethesda. They just know how to do single player exploration, open world experiences. They have it down to a T. And this is going to be their first new title in 25 years. And it looks so good, man. It looks so good. They're basically spinning it as Fallout or Skyrim, but in space. Obviously, there's different, like, subtle differences between Fallout and Skyrim. They're not exactly the same, but they're built on the same premise. Starfield is kind of going to be built on that same premise of exploration. They said that there's 1,000 worlds. 1,000 worlds to explore. I don't know. That's a hefty claim. I'd imagine only a handful of those will be like essential. You know, we'll have actual cities on them. A lot of them will probably just be exploration for exploration purposes. Go and get resources, almost like a No Man's Sky kind of deal. You know, find new resources, find new loot, stuff like that. Explore like more random stuff. So whereas like, you know, there will probably be like another, I don't know, handful of planets that are really, really important and something that you, you know, planets that you travel to frequently. There might be planets that you only go to like one time and that's it. You get a special chemical or a special resource that's only available on that planet and you only need it like one time. I'd imagine that would be something that would maybe be like how they could stretch it out to 1,000 different worlds. It looks so good though. It looks so good. The spaceship customization, they completely overhauled the character creations. They said basically if you see a character in the world, like an NPC in the world, then it was usually created. It can be created in the character creation like beginnings. You know, a big thing with Bethesda is character creation and different play styles and different, you know, the replayability with these games typically is insane. I recently reinstalled both Oblivion and Fallout 4 on my Xbox to play at night when I'm, you know, just trying to wind down. And you can literally just, you know, pick them up and play, and it's like you've almost, it's impossible to remember every square inch of that game because of how massive it is. I feel like every time I play the game, I discover something new, but it's been so long since we've gotten to play a fresh Bethesda game. I am so stoked for this. I'm so stoked for this game. In my opinion, could be Game of the Year. I know I've said that a lot about a bunch of different games. Hogwarts Legacy is, I originally thought that that could be Game of the Year. I don't think it has a chance anymore. Starfield could be Game of the Year. Tears of the Kingdom could be Game of the Year. Spider-Man 2 could be Game of the Year. There's so many good candidates now. Star Wars Jedi Survivor could be Game of the Year, and honestly, Hogwarts Legacy could be Game of the Year. There's so many good games coming out this year, and it feels so dang good to be in the position of, you know, not knowing what to play. There's not knowing what's going to be Game of the Year, not knowing what, who's going to like what, not knowing, playing a Bethesda game and not knowing the story for once in the last, it's been years. It's been truly years. They have different perks, different backstories that you choose. So basically there's I think there was a bunch of different backstories that you could choose for your character. And then you could choose a bunch of perks for that character, and it changes the way that you play the game. You can be more of an aggressive player, you can be more of a charismatic player. It's the same, just like any Bethesda. Bethesda knows what they're doing. I have so much faith in Bethesda. And I know, and you could probably clip this. And when the game releases, chances are it might have a couple of bugs, and I'm going to give this game the benefit of the doubt just because of how big it is and how ambitious it is. But man, I just can't wait. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be one of the best games we've ever played. The replayability is just going to be there times a million. It's going to be the most replayable game ever. I don't see how it can't be. That's how high my expectations are for this. Ubisoft has a conference tomorrow. I might do a similar style of video tomorrow, depending on how this video does. So if you guys want me to review or give my thoughts on the Ubisoft conference tomorrow, make sure you drop a like on this video. I monitor how much you guys interact and like, and how long of the videos, my stomach, how much you watch of every single video, and the likes ratios and all that stuff. So if you guys want me to do another ramble like this tomorrow, some visual triggers for the first time on CNB, but if you want me to do that, leave a like on this video. I'm more than happy to do that, but let me know what your favorite game from the showcase was. I want to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making it to the very end. I'll see you all